Welcome to Wish You Were Here Today from Fuerteventura. Yep, I've been doing a little bit of Canary Island hopping. Well, as ever, we are right on track to bring you some great holiday ideas. And track here is the operative word. Today's show has a little bit of a theme to it. But more about that later. First of all, let's check out the competition and find out where today's lucky winner will be going. Well, if you like the idea of that holiday, then you better get ready to answer this question. Calls cost just 25 pence and lines are open right now, so go on, pick up your phone. We'll be letting you know before the end of the show whether you've won or not. But first of all, let's find out where we're going in today's programme. Our first station stop is a long-haul trip to Mongolia. Well, anyway, that is Moscow and Irkutsk ticked off his list, and tomorrow we get to see the rest of his Trans-Siberian Railway adventure. Now, if Matthew's adventures have given you itchy feet, then perhaps you should enter our competition. You've still got just enough time to win if you pick up the phone right now. So here is that question again, and a quick reminder of where you might be going. OK, so get dialing. Calls cost just 25 pence, and we'll be letting you know in about 20 minutes whether you've won or not. In the meantime, here's what's still to come on Wish You Were Here Today. Welcome back to Wish You Were Here Today, where we're having a little bit of a train spotting day. Now, if you're a regular commuter, the idea of sitting on a train for the whole of your holiday probably doesn't appeal. But I'm not, so when I was asked to check out the French railway network, I was actually quite looking forward to it. The first part of my journey was from London to Lille on the Eurostar, and then from there I took the TGV, or train à grande vitesse, all the way down to Avignon in the south of France. After that, there was no real plan. This is one of those make-it-up-as-you-go-along holidays. Just the kind I like.
The TGV is France's pride and joy, a super-fast rail network that crisscrosses the country. We're heading for the Mediterranean.
Now, the thing that amazes me most about this journey is we are now travelling at 300 kilometres an hour, and I can walk down the corridor balancing a glass of water.
It takes precisely 4 hours and 4 minutes to cover the 910 kilometres from Lille to Avignon. The medieval city is not only the perfect starting point for exploring the south of France, but it's an interesting place in its own right.
Now, I booked my hotel while I was still in the UK because I didn't fancy travelling for 6 hours and hunting around for one. And this is it. We're right in the centre of the old town.
The Hotel de l'Horloge is a 3-star hotel, just minutes from all the main tourist attractions. I like Avignon. It's a charming mix of cobbled streets full of shops and an old quarter by the River Rhône with a long history of pomp and pontiffs. The feudal palais was home to 9 popes when Avignon, not Rome, was the centre of the Christian church in the 14th century.
Now, we are here in Avignon. Over here we have the Côte d'Azur. This side we've got the Pyrenees, and sandwiched in between is an area called Languedoc. It's a very historical area, and it's famous for good wine, and it's the area where the French come on holiday. So where do my crew think we should visit?
How about some nice big city action?
Big city, so Perpignan, Montpellier, it's the biggest city. Mike?
Ooh, the beach.
The beach. Any particular one?
Cap Dag.
The nudist beach. My cameraman wants the nudist beach. Now, something to note is that Avignon has 2 stations. The station I arrived at yesterday is only for the TGV. All other trains go from here, which is the old station.
Time to brush up on my schoolgirl French and struggle with all our luggage and camera equipment.
No escalators, no lift, no porters, no nothing.
First, we're off to Montpellier. The train is a local one and nowhere near as fast or as clean as the TGVs.
Right, I'm travelling on a Euro-Domino rail pass, which I bought in the UK.
It allows me unlimited rail travel anywhere in France for up to 8 days, and it's valid for 1 month.
Right, we're now on our way to Montpellier, which was the large city that David, the producer, wanted to visit. He's also selected a hotel, Hotel du Palais. We haven't booked it, we're just going to roll up and busk it, and hopefully we should get in because we're not high season at the moment. It's described as tastefully renovated 18th century mansion in the old town, blending modern and antique touches, cosy rooms, which means small, and the most important point is it's cheap.
We've arrived in Montpellier, capital of Languedoc, major university town and hub of France's fastest growing region. But is there any room in the hotel? Yes, there is, but then you would be unlucky not to find accommodation in this part of the world.
Well, as it happens, my fears about the hotel were unfounded. It's very pleasant, very comfortable, ensuite, centrally located, but not as cheap as we first thought, £45 a night. Montpellier is said to have some of the best weather in the whole of France. It boasts 300 days of sunshine every year. Of course, we have turned up on one of the other 65 days. Now, it's a big place, but most of what you want to see is in or around the old town. This is Place de la Comédie, and it's a good place to start because it's right on the edge of everything.
Montpellier is worth a couple of days, but for us it's time to move on, using the Euro-Domino rail pass and totally uncontrollable map to plot the next stage of our journey.
Now, you can't come all the way to the south of France and not go to the coast. It would just be wrong. So today, that's where we're headed. We're going down from Montpellier. There's a train line that runs down the coast from Sète to Arques. And if you remember, Cap d'Arques is where our cameraman wanted to go. Nice nudist colony. But the town of Arques that we're visiting first is over 2,500 years old.
Arques is a typical Mediterranean fishing port. We're here on a Thursday and we're in luck. The market has come to town. It's absolutely packed. A short taxi ride away is Cap d'Arques, one of a whole string of modern, purpose-built resorts and home to Europe's biggest nudist colony.
If you don't want to take your clothes off at the nudist colony, but you do want to check it out for future reference, you can just take a taxi and go on nudie safari. You pay a small fee and you're allowed to drive through. There's a whole harbour for naked people and their yachts.
Using the rail pass to its maximum, we're off again, travelling 90 minutes further west to Perpignan.
We've found a hotel. I'm going to book it over the phone this time, not going to leave it to chance. It sounds quite nice. It's called De la Loge, and the producer's not being as tight tonight. Bonjour. Vous avez des chambres libres pour cette nuit, s'il vous plaît?
A mobile phone and a hotel guidebook solved our accommodation problem. But if you have neither, go to the local tourist office for help.
This part of France is known as Roussillon, and in fact it's only been part of France for the last 350 years. And bits of Perpignan have a distinctly Spanish flavour. Even the road signs are in French and Catalan.
Odd to think that in medieval times, Perpignan was actually the capital of Majorca, some 200 miles off the coast. Today, there's a huge North African presence to add to the social mix of the city. And this is where my journey ends. France runs into Spain across the Pyrenees, and my rail pass runs out at the border.
If you're going to travel by train across France with your partner, then don't get too fresh with them, because apparently it is illegal to kiss on railways in France. Now, can you believe that? In France. You'd think it'd be obligatory there, not forbidden. And also, if you happen to own a pig, as you do, make sure you don't call it Napoleon, because that's against the law as well. Well, if you manage to avoid getting arrested, this is what the... Now, if somebody told you that they had a nice little treat for you, and it turned out to be a train ticket from London to Brighton, you'd probably think they were taking the mick a bit. But this is no ordinary train journey. For a start, it's on the Orient Express, and you have to solve a murder en route. Now, there is actually a dress code on this trip. You are requested not to wear jeans, and smoking and mobile phones are also not allowed. Now, if you like the idea of the train but not the murder mystery element, then don't worry, because there are plenty of other excursions ending up in places like Warwick, Bath and York, to name but a few. Well, that's me just about done for today, but I'll be back again tomorrow with some more holidays for you. And don't go away just yet, because today's competition winner is coming up any second now. See you tomorrow.